Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country. But Senator Bill Hagerty is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Senator Bill Hagerty at 202-224-4944 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Join me, Speedy, Adler, and Greg for the Rick Burgess Show on WGNS.
The Rick Burgess Show, weekdays 11 to 2 on News Radio WGNS. If it matters to you, it matters to us. More people depend on WGNS for local news that matters. We're your local news leader. News Radio WGNS. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne. Good morning, Wayne. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Brother Rick. I think I'm doing very well. You know, we're coming up on Thanksgiving and
yes, sir.
and Christmas, and tailing in towards the football playoffs. Blue Raiders haven't had a great season, but still enjoyed watching them, and UT has had their troubles. So
they got to win. They got to win out.
They got to win out.
If you want to go up north for a bowl or stay down south,
somewhere,
you have to win out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, doing great. And Brian has put up a Christmas tree here in the studio. So all I need is a little eggnog, and what my dad said was flavoring. And I'd be set.
Wayne on the radio drinking eggnog. That'd be a great show.
It was odd as a child. I loved boiled custard. My mom used to make it, and of course you could buy it in the store as well. And wasn't much of a eggnog fan, but now that I've gotten older, eggnog is my choice drink. So it's just. Seal test. Is it seal test or purity? I forget now. Maybe it's purity. Seal test may not
exist.
It's
so thick. I can do a little bit of it.
I can drink a whole glass.
Oh no!
It's like eating a slice of pecan pie.
I do.
But weather's not too bad yet. But I think the winter's coming in on us.
Yes, sir.
So. Rick, this morning, let me do a public service announcement. Sam Davis Lodge number 661 is having Cookies with Santa on December the 6th from 10 to 2. They're 101 Mary Law Drive, just across from the old food line that used to be at the corner of Nissan and
Planet Fitness now.
Right.
Yep.
And Sam Davis and mission's $10, $20 for a family, and get pictures with Santa, and there'll be cookies, and I think it'll just be a great day. And it's a fundraiser by the Sam Davis Lodge for what's happening in so many places, food drives. So they'll be helping either Second Harvest or Nourish, and just like to remind everybody that, again, December the 6th from 10 to 2 there at the Sam Davis Lodge. This is a fun morning for us, Brother Rick, not only having a fellow Rotarian, but also having a first responder leader. I find it a little ironic that anyone would rush into a burning building as we're trying to rush out. But God bless Chief Brian Goss and his staff and members of his department, for protecting us in the town of Smyrna. And Chief Goss, welcome and thank you for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Why don't you talk about, of course, you've been here in Middle Tennessee for quite some time, so why don't you let our audience get to know you a little bit?
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in Western Michigan, third generation fire service, first to go full time. I actually was on a pathway to go to medical school and got my degree in biology and chemistry, and my senior year in college, as a volunteer firefighter, learned about this thing called hazardous materials, which was brand new to the fire service in the early 80s, and did a research project as part of my chemistry degree and fell in love with it. And my dad was state fire marshal in Michigan at the time, so I came home, had that difficult conversation that I don't think I'm going to medical school. I think I want to be a firefighter. So after college, I graduated. Within 3 months, joined the Grand Rapids, Michigan Fire Department full-time, spent the next 20 years there working through the ranks, and then in 2008 was looking for change of scenery and applied in a few places, and Brentwood made the call, and it was one of the more fortuitous events in our lives. Our kids came down with us, and they're all settled within 30 or 40 miles of us now with their own lives and families, and spent 17 years with Brentwood looking toward possible retirement when the opportunity in Smyrna came up, and met with a few Smyrna firefighters and thought, I think this is a place that I'd like to be.
Change of scenery, that's quite a change of scenery from Michigan to Tennessee, so culture shock?
Not too much. As you know, Nashville is very eclectic. So
Really?
we fit right in. My wife's family, she had family in East Tennessee that we came down and visited fairly frequently. So we were more familiar with that part of the state, but quickly learned to live and love Nashville and Nashville area.
Well, you were, what did you say, Brentwood, 18 years?
Just over 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Williamson County is a little different than Rutherford.
It's a little different, but yeah, I've been involved in the statewide fire service virtually since I got here, and have good friends in the Murfreesboro Fire Department, Laverne Fire Department, with Rutherford County Fire Department and EMA. So those relationships were already built. So it was a relatively smooth transition for me personally.
Siblings?
I'm actually got 3 older siblings. 10-year age gap between me and my next oldest one.
So were you an accident?
I wasn't an accident. I was a pleasant surprise.
Me too.
But
so was my dad.
I lost my brother. He's an Army vet. Lost him a couple of years ago, but my sisters and my mother still live up in Michigan, so we get up there a few times a year.
So that's a big difference, Michigan to Tennessee, just in the fire service as well, how things are carried out. Obviously, you come from a union style retirement system's totally different. What was it like coming down here? And I don't want to say we're not as efficient or not as up to task, but it's a big difference of what Tennessee Fire Service and, let's say, Michigan or the Northeast.
It is different. It was a breath of fresh air for me personally. I got tired of being cold, to be honest with you.
Well, you're about to be cold for a little bit here.
When you go outside in sub-zero weather for several months a year spraying water, that's just a bad place to be.
Circulating pumps and then freezing up on you. I can imagine.
Exactly. No, it was a great move, and the fire service is a little different, but essentially not much different wherever you go. And the important thing is that you have great people willing to embrace change, willing to grow, willing to progress, and that's what I found here.
Yeah.
Well, you and Rick have a lot in common, of course, with his law enforcement background, but also he did that program where you
PSO, public safety officers.
You wore 2 hats.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that out this morning.
When I retired, I asked for 2 things, and it was my chair that I used in Detective Division, and I went to Chief Culbertson and wanted my fire helmet. And, it was the original one. It was burned all up anyways. They were just going to, Chief Lawrence was just going to throw it away, so he let me keep my helmet.
Way
so
cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Way cool, Rick.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I think I need to hang it in my office and come up with something. But
No doubt.
fire helmets are hard to hang. They do great on hooks. Anything else out of that, it's hard to do anything with them.
I understand. As far as Smyrna, any new innovations or anything on the horizon that you'd like to see come our way?
Well, I've been here about 6 months. Made a tremendous amount of change already, as my crews would attest. Kind of been a white knuckle ride for a lot of them, but they were ready, and they're enjoying it. One of the things we did recently was a year ago, before I arrived here, they took over running EMS calls. We don't do transport. County does transport. Rutherford County EMS, tremendous agency, but we were implemented as first responders, emergency medical responders, and that increased our call volume dramatically, about 400% on the EMS side and about 200 to 250% overall. So we have been looking for ways to run that more efficiently. About 3 to 4 weeks ago, we implemented a quick response vehicle program, which is we took our 2 busiest districts and put 2 emergency medical responders in pickup trucks. And we thought it would cut the apparatus responses by about 35%, but it's proven to cut them by about 60%.
Oh, wow.
So when you're looking at $1.1 million, $1.2 million to buy a fire truck, trying to extend the longevity of those apparatus is important. So this has been a program that has been well embraced by our crews. They love running calls. They rotate in and out of those units so they don't get burned out. And it has taken a tremendous load off of our heavier apparatus.
Your professional personnel, are they EMTs?
We are right now emergency medical responders.
Okay.
Some are EMTs that have gotten it on their own or through a volunteer department they may be part of. But at currently where we are now, that's EMR is the minimum requirement.
Okay.
That's interesting. I know Metro has gone to a similar thing that you're talking about. They outfitted several trucks that were like quick response, and I know I was in Nashville a little while back, and there was a wreck on the interstate. Imagine that. But even the pumper truck that was responded was a smaller, as a 4-door 4-cab, but the whole rear end of that thing, I don't know if it carries 500 gallons of water or something substantially smaller, much, but it was small. It really was. Yeah,
we started running the interstate as well, knowing that we can obviously get there much more quickly than the surrounding agencies when they've supported us and worked alongside with us tremendously in years past. But we felt it was our responsibility to serve our citizens between our exits. So we started doing that, and we put 2 apparatus on the interstate for every call. One parks upstream to act as kind of a traffic diverter or blocker to protect our personnel. Because to be honest with you, that's the most dangerous environment in which we work.
I was going to ask you about that because I've seen so many accidents occur from an accident.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I have no. I'm confident in my personnel's ability at a house fire. I don't have any question about sending them in there. Of course, we have several levels of accountability that are involved there, but the interstate's what scares me. So we put them through a training program first. We have strict operational guidelines on how they operate and how they place apparatus and to protect themselves, which is first and foremost.
I almost conceive you almost need a huge tractor and trailer, to impede traffic away from your units because, they drive so fast and so erratic. I travel 65 and 40 and 24 weekly, and I-24 is far and away the worst stretch of interstate in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, the roadways are hazardous in general. Obviously, interstates present unique challenges. And you mentioned a tractor trailer. Actually, Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I came from, we had several interstates that intersected there, not unlike Nashville. And we actually outfitted a former Public Works dump truck pulling a traffic attenuating trailer with an impact resistant bumper system on it to protect our people on the interstate.
I think that should be job one right now for you to try to obtain something like that, because I can see your people in harm's way, in an emergency situation, and they won't pull to the left, or if they do it so erratic they cause another accident, right? Trying to avoid the one that you're taking care of.
And you make a great point that I'd like to take this opportunity to remind everyone is the move over law in Tennessee. You have, if you're able to safely, you're supposed to move to your left or your right, depending on where the emergency vehicle is, and reserve one open lane between traffic and the first responders. And the main thing is just pay attention. Distracted driving has overtaken drunk driving now as the #1 killer on the interstate. So we just need to pay attention and watch for our first responders, our tow truck drivers, our EMS personnel when we're out there.
I agree. And, we're sitting there talking, and I think the worst job in the state of Tennessee right now is those TDOT workers that run them trucks out there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they pay them or what their insurance package looks like,
should
but
get
man, there
combat
is no
pay.
way.
I mean, their lives.
Yeah. Well, we had several years ago, Smyrna we went on a mutual aid call on the interstate, and we had one of our tanker trucks got hit out there, and it was pretty substantial damage. And that was the distracted driver, that was fighting to get in front of somebody else. And the other car sped up, and he had nowhere to go but take out the rear end of a fire truck. So,
and they're, even though we have a hands-free law, I cannot tell you how many people that will pass me.
Oh, yes.
Because I'll settle in that second lane from the right and just, try to make my way through there, and people will have their head down, doing 80 miles an hour, and they're not even looking at the road. They're looking up, texting, looking.
Yeah, it's nothing short of an epidemic is what we're facing, and the numbers reveal that on an annual basis.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be fixed. I mean, right now you can take an iPhone, do an update, and if you're in motion, your phone's just not going to work. My phone now through Apple CarPlay with the last update at the bottom says I'm driving, and if I touch my phone, it'll have an I driving, and you've got to tell it you're not driving. So if you're in the car, but it could be done to where if it's in motion, it'll quit.
You said though, I've got an update coming up on my phone. Is that
Is that at the bottom deal? And it says I'm driving, and you have to swipe it up and say if you're not driving.
Apparently, it told me not to get off subject that I need more storage space. Maybe my phone's so old that just doesn't have
it'll
enough.
Slow down and quit now. You might as well take out a mortgage and get another phone. They're like $1,500.
Oh,
so.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah. So tell me about you. Like you said, you've been here 6 months, but there's a lot of difference. The second thing I miss is having the text messages that I had working for the police department of when things happen. Mm-hmm. So I rely on internet things to be able to listen. I notice even the way you guys dispatch calls and all that has totally been revamped. And
yeah, we're right now working diligently with dispatch, and we've dumped a lot on those poor folks in a short period of time, because the way we respond is or should be much different than the way it was 5 or even 10 years ago. We are large enough. We have now 6 staffed stations running 26, 28 people minimum on duty per day. That is about to increase. And we don't need all of those people to respond to a structure fire. So we're implementing a tiered response for structure fires. We're revamping again our response for interstate calls. Just trying to send the right number of resources to the right type of incidents and reduce those apparatus calls as much as we can, because to be honest, the most dangerous thing we do is driving to and from the scene. That's where a great majority of firefighter injuries occur, is travel to and from. So it's safer for the public if we can keep them parked, and it's safer for our personnel. So we just, if we need them, they're there, but we want to respond adequately without over-responding.
So dispatching, is police and fire combined?
Are combined as of right now,
Okay.
yes.
Probably a silly question, but I never really thought of it.
And they even do the water department on the weekends because the main offices are closed. So if your water gets turned off or gas,
yeah, their vast
Friday
majority
afternoon.
of calls that come into our dispatch center are not public safety related.
Yes.
They're general information calls, and those folks are hopping. They're busy.
Yeah.
So there is a hazmat group, I think. I still call it Seward Air Force Base, but at the airport through the National Guard. So, do y'all have much relationship with those guys?
We have a close relationship, and in fact, we're sharing a building with the Smyrna Airport Fire Department. And I think, as you probably have seen in the news, the National Guard is relocating their base from BNA to Smyrna. And we see some opportunities for relationships and for growth there as well. But we supplement or augment the airport fire staffing on a daily basis, so they work well together, they train together, and that's only getting better and more involved as time goes on and as the airport gets busier.
And it certainly is getting busier.
It is, and it's about to get a whole lot busier when the National Guard relocates.
Yeah, I just did a tour out there last week, and the fire, if you go out there, grew up in this area, the whole fire tower, it's been there. It started in 1950. It's 80 feet in the air, and it's actually inside. It's still 1950. They've never had to remodel it or anything. And it's how they work in there. And it's got one little 19-inch monitor. It's their screen where they can see the planes. It's just amazing that they're able to operate out there. But they're going to spend about $22 million and put a new tower. It'll be over on the west side of the campus now, and it'll be 130 feet tall. So it's going to be almost double the size or height of the one they have now.
Not to get off topic too much, but the interchange there at Murfreesboro Road and Sam Ridley, is that being corrected because of the influx of that National Guard coming back to Smyrna?
Well, I think it's just needed it for a long time. And, too, with Old Jefferson and Laverne, where the old bridge goes over the railroad tracks, it's always been an unfortunate death trap intersection, and there's not been a way to where we could signal it or put lights on it or anything else. So I think the revamping of this is going to create a situation where that now can have a red light. But I don't know now, but I'm sure if Chief looked it up, if we don't have 2 or 3 there a week, we have 4 or 5 at that one intersection. It's just tough.
And I don't know if this is urban legend or whatever, but I was told years ago that that bridge that goes across the railroad track there on Jefferson Pike, that back in the 40s, before US 41 came through, that a fire engine came off of that hill and went straight down. It didn't make the curve. I don't know if that's a true story or not, but
I had not heard that.
It's and I'm not sure if it would have been a volunteer department.
Well, it'd all been volunteer rescue back then.
Yeah.
And they would have had a station there on Jefferson Pike, on Old Jefferson. So
it was late 90s, early 2000s before we went full time.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
I mean, that's quite the drop off.
And that bridge is old.
Yeah,
it's really old. And there's a big debate on jurisdictional wise years ago about if Laverne had it, if it was Smyrna's, and the county ended up fixing the bridge, and then Smyrna took it to a certain point, and Laverne has the rest of it from here on out. But anyways, we are off topic, but that'll be a big change when we finally get that.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we got some traffic around here. So I think a lot of these projects were in place before the Guard made the announcements, but we're certainly going to see some enhancements to the base, the airport, and the area immediately surrounding the airport when that starts to take place.
So you 6 stations around the community, is that correct?
Yeah, we opened Station 4 out on Jefferson Pike in January.
Rick was there. I guess I was otherwise detained. So any projected new stations in the near future?
With maybe not in the near future. We do have some areas earmarked based on travel times and response distances. As they bring new developments in, we grow into our UGB. We try to negotiate with the developer to provide land for that. We've got one out Lee Road, kind of earmarked, one down near Almaville Road.
We had set aside some land back when I was on the school board. Well, no, it was a commission. A commission there near Rocky Fork Middle and Rocky Fork Elementary. So there is an acre or so there that was set aside by the county to the town to put a first responder station there as well.
Yeah. There's so many things that go into that decision-making process. There are standards, ISO and FPA standards for response times, but we also have to look at population density, call density, and those kind of things, because we have to make sure that our return on investment, both from a human factor and from a monetary factor, makes it practical.
And y'all will face from the public safety side, y'all are faced with some interesting obstacles because we're going way out Anvil Road, almost to Independence Road, and then my commission district is Bill France, which is 452, which is where the racetrack is, and we've got a big development coming out, which we set aside an area out there for you guys as well. But that's a 7 to 8 minute drive if you figure on Jefferson Pike, just if you go out Mona Road and that way versus if you got on 840. But that's a substantial reach for you guys.
We're already doing travel time and response time studies in that area.
Yeah. That's both ends.
Anvil Road is so narrow with, deep ditches on both sides, and Jefferson Pike has its challenges as well.
Yeah, it does. It really does. There was a big wreck out there yesterday at Mona and Jefferson Pike that had traffic snarled for a good while.
And if you look at the urban growth boundary, even beyond what we've already established, there's just room for tremendous growth.
Is it a 1 mile radius, or how are they, like you said, I know they'd updated the standards since my days of being in, but it used to be we were drawing circles and trying to figure move that circle
it used to be
around.
a circle, now it's a polygon. It's based on travel times. It's a 1.5 mile radius for a pumper truck and 3 mile radius for ladder trucks. But again, that's a benchmark. It's a guideline, and we have to make sure that it makes sense from a fiduciary standpoint to put resources out there if it hasn't built up yet and those kind of things. But it's great to secure that land for planning purposes because they're not making any more of it.
Polygon.
No.
Taking geometry, I was like, where am I ever going to use a compass and all this other stuff? And we sat there with a map one day, and this is where this is supposed to come in. I guess you got computer programs that can do that for you.
Was it called a protractor?
Yes, sir.
I don't know how I remember that word, but
I had to stop by Walmart on the way to get one.
if they even still make them.
There are software applications and AI-driven applications that are extremely helpful for those kind of things.
So, what does AI do for first responders?
Oh, I think we are just starting to scratch the surface of what the capabilities are. From a planning perspective, for me as a chief officer, it's been a tremendous tool in determining planned services for growth areas. Again, determining travel times, where our population or where our call density is, and we're moving to a new system of fire reporting called NERIS. We've been with the National Fire Incident Reporting System, or NFIRS, for decades, and the NERIS system built into it, as well as our own internal record management system, has AI components that will allow for example, our emergency medical responders are on scene. They can read their notes into the computer, and it will write out the narrative for the call. Of course, that requires us to reread it and make sure it's accurate. AI is, only as good as what you put into it.
Sure.
But it's turned us all into much better writers, to be honest with you. But that verification process and reviewing it and confirming that it's absolutely correct, making those corrections if it's not, and then signing off on it is vitally important.
So, me being on the county commission, we just approved a study. All the municipalities have signed off on this, and the county both. We're looking at a study to doing a centralized dispatch system. It's one part of the puzzle of making this whole thing work together. And I'm on the public safety committee, and doing some research, and I think it's called an iPern, but it's something in Pennsylvania and some other places have adopted. But they're using AI. It was manually done, but they're using AI now. So when you have that centralized dispatch, a call will go in the system, and AI grabs it and looks at it and finds the quickest location. And then you can, even the GPS on your police units and fire apparatus, it'll pick the closest units, and it dispatches them for you. But I've listened to some of it, and it's not a live voice. It's a computer voice that comes out and actually does the dispatching. It's all AI.
So, if one of your stations get a call and it's maybe it's on the fringe, and you just don't know exactly where it is, does somebody have a Waze on their phone, or is there something on the vehicle that basically turn left, turn right, turn left.
Yeah, through our computer-aided dispatch system, once they enter that address, it sends it to units in our apparatus that map it. And obviously we get a lot of, especially if it's a smoke scare in the area of, so it gets us close, and then we have to fine-tune it and provide an address when we get there. But you're talking about closest unit dispatch. That's something that we're working toward. We're not quite there in Rutherford County yet, but I've talked to a lot of our response partners, and there's a tremendous amount of interest in that. There are MOUs and agreements that have to be reached in order to cross jurisdictional boundaries and things like that. But the opportunity exists for, as dense as we are here in Rutherford County, to be able to help one another. And when you call 911, you don't care what name is on the truck, what patch is on the shoulder. You just want to help as quick as you can get it.
And we're overlapping. I mean, that's part of me in the community process is I-24. You may have a wreck on I-24 that happens, let's say, around Anvil Road, but you got people calling in that are going into Murfreesboro, and you got people going towards Laverne. So depending on when they make that call, their GPS on their phone and you call 911, may hit Rutherford County's dispatch system, Murfreesboro's dispatch system, Smyrna's, or Laverne. So there's been incidents where we've had 3 different, basically units from departments show up at one scene because of the way people made their 911 calls.
And we'd much rather see that than nobody show
Exactly
up. So
right,
we still
right.
work together very closely and maintain that relationship for sure.
You're listening to WGNS, the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne this morning. We got a great guest with us today. It's the Town of Smyrna Fire Chief, Brian Goss. But we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit firstshottn.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's firstshottn.org.
It's the most magical day of the year, and you can watch it all live. Big G TV is where Christmas comes to life with coverage of the Murfreesboro Parade, Sunday, December 14th at 2 p.m. Brought to you by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, Middle Tennessee Electric, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Woodfin Funeral Chapels. See every float, every smile, and the moment Santa arrives on Big G TV. Streaming at wgnsradio.com/parade.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, AmeriCare Pest Control, and Old National Bank.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
78 years of local service. That's how many WGNS has been around for you. The lighting of the Rutherford County Christmas tree will be on Friday, December the 5th, 5 o'clock in the evening. on the east side of the historic Rutherford County Courthouse. That's Friday, December 5th, 5 in the evening, on the east side of the Murfreesboro Square. The community sing-along for Handel's Messiah will be at MTSU on Sunday, November 30th, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the Wright Music Building. That's Sunday, November 30th. This is the weekend to drop off those turkeys at Greenhouse Ministries. The turkey drop-off is 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening this Friday, and the turkey pickup is this Saturday. You have to have a voucher to pick up the turkeys, and your pickup time is on the voucher. Again, the turkey drop-off at Greenhouse Ministries is this Friday, 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. For more information, go to greenhousemin.org. Get your events to us at least 2 weeks before they occur. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late this afternoon with partial sunshine developing and a high into the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center.
Currently, it's 61.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we certainly are honored and having a great time being with the town of Smyrna's Fire Chief, Brian Goss. And you've shared a lot of information in that first segment. I'm trying to figure out if we can top it or not in this second segment.
Talk about hiring. Are y'all at full staff?
We are not.
Hiring's been an issue, so with everybody, everywhere, but
we are not. We are actually in the process. Friday, we test for a group of recruits. So we're moving forward with that. The town gave us 4 new positions in the coming fiscal year. We've got 4 vacancies through retirements and departures and things like that. So we're hiring 8. We average, from what I'm told, Smyrna averages 60 or 70, 80 applications. As of yesterday, we're up to 177.
Holy.
So
mackerel.
There's a lot of folks wanting to come to work in Smyrna. So we're extremely proud of that. And so we have a multi-tiered, they'll do a written exam, they'll do a physical ability test, they'll do a panel interview, and then ultimately an interview with the assistant chief and myself. So
somebody that might be interested in applying and may not be certain about the physical test, what does that entail?
It's
the hardest in the state, by the way.
It
was at one time.
We revamped it.
Okay.
We revamped it a little bit. Actually, if you get on Smyrna's website or just on YouTube, in Murfreesboro Fire Department, it's very similar to what Murfreesboro does. We're kind of revamping it to fit more of the national standard. Mm-hmm. And the previous test we did in Smyrna took about 30 minutes. And when you have 177 applicants, that's a lot of time. And so we have revamped the test to fit more of the national standard, and it should be about a 10 to 12 minute test. But it involves some cardio, it involves some strength, and involves a drag test, climbing some stairs, just a variety of things to make sure that you meet at least minimum physical ability standards. And then, of course, our goal once you get on the department is to continue to build that.
So is there height, weight, and
There is not. No height, weight, or age restriction currently, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We're just looking for, I always say, I can hire good people and train them to be firefighters. I can't hire firefighters and train them to be good people. So we're looking at good folks who want to come to Smyrna, who want to buy into the positive cultural environment that we're building, and will be a team player. So hopefully out of this large group, we'll be able to find 8 or 9 that want to do that.
And along with that, Smyrna has a pretty competitive pay standard. Our insurance is really good in the town, and and the equipment. We've got a lot of newer equipment. There's been a big investment as far as equipment over the years. So
yeah, I can tell you that Smyrna is highly competitive in all those areas. I was pleasantly surprised when I came to the town to learn what upgrades they've done on equipment through the years. We've got several trucks on order, preparing to take delivery on some. It's obviously been a priority in the town to get public safety where it needs to be. So it's been a blessing to me as chief coming in under those circumstances, under a town council and a town manager that prioritizes and understands that.
30 and 40 years ago when it was I guess it was a volunteer at that time, so many of our town leaders were involved. Mary Esther Reed, our mayor, her dad, from what I recall, was also a volunteer, and I don't know how many of the other town leaders were, but that was something that was important to them even decades ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that have invested in our department through the years, both money and time, and we value that. And I've been a student of the history of the department since I got here. Again, you mentioned that I spoke at Rotary. I had to prepare myself for that, so it's been a lot of fun for me getting to know a new organization, a new agency, and kind of fitting into the culture while helping transform it at the same time.
You had gone into a question and answer session at the end of your talk at Rotary, and I had asked you about the little stove blankets and all that they sell on Amazon and other places, and you said it's better than nothing, and I took that to heart. So if you were advising someone to purchase a fire extinguisher for residential use, what would you advise them to buy?
You want a multi type fire extinguisher, an ABC it's called, that it works for both type A, which is paper, solid particles, B for liquids, and C for anything electrically charged. So ABC, general purpose extinguisher. It's a good place to have them is in your kitchen, in your garage. And the blankets that you mentioned have gained popularity in recent years, and I actually prefer that over a fire extinguisher. A blanket's not going to splash, whereas a fire extinguisher may. But again, as I mentioned to you, during Rotary, if you can't control it in the first 15 or 20 seconds, call 911 and get out of the house, because we don't want someone to, with modern textiles and the fabrics and the materials that we have inside our homes, 2 or 3 good breaths of smoke could render you unconscious. So the most important thing is not that you fight the fire. The most important thing is to get you, your family, your pets out, and call us and let us take care of it.
So you purchased the fire extinguisher. Would that be Amazon or whoever?
Sure. Big box stores.
Big box stores. So how long is that fire extinguisher? I know at the office they come by and check the fire extinguishers there periodically.
Every 3 years.
Okay. So is that the one that you might buy at a big box store or Amazon? Is that good for 3 years?
Yeah, the ones that you have here are probably refillable and rechargeable extinguishers. Those are commercial fire extinguishers. The ones that you get in big box stores are disposable. So 2 things you want to do with an extinguisher at least once a year: look at the dial, make sure it's in the green zone, make sure it's charged, and shake it. And if you can feel the powder moving inside and it's in the green zone, you're probably good to go.
Okay.
If it's in a highly humid area or an area where temperatures fluctuate dramatically, like a garage, condensation can form, and once that powder inside solidifies, it's useless. So if you don't feel that moving when you shake it, it's probably time to replace it.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. I took some pictures of those slides you did on that history of it, because I'm a history buff and trying to get a museum going in Smyrna at some point. But
that'd be fun.
One of the things I found out interesting was in your thing you even included populations, and but I wanted to highlight those a little bit. In 1970, with the Seward Air Force Base closure, we were at 5,200 people.
See, and I didn't realize that we had. I thought we were more like 3,000.
Yeah.
And again, these are for each one of those dates, I cross-referenced multiple sources, and some of them are dramatically different.
Yeah.
So I tried to get at least 2 sources that agreed in pulling those populations up.
1980, 93, 67, 94 or 84. That's when Nissan North America relocated in Smyrna. That's when we really kind of saw a boom. We started engine what I call Station 3. I don't know if you've renamed them now or not, but that's the one on Enid Springs. We built 4 Nissan out there, but we were at 12,300. So you figure from 80 to 84, we were starting to grow. It was coming. 1989, when we started our first full-time employee, which was Chief Bill Culbertson, which Ben Culbertson was his father was before that. We had jumped to 15.5. So that's another big, substantial jump. 2000, we went that was 27,569. And I think where are we at now?
I think with the special census, we're going to be right around 62 or 63,000.
That is just inconceivable to me. Until I get out on the road.
Yes.
I'm going, well, yeah, here they are.
Yeah, some sources have us, depending on, we're neck and neck with Spring Hill. Some sources have us in the top 10 largest cities in Tennessee at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, we are.
One a municipality that's grown substantially that really caught me off guard because I think they're already over 60,000. It's Hendersonville.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that's grown substantially over the years and kind of maybe mirrors our growth in a way.
Yeah. The whole metro Nashville area, no surprise to anyone, is always among the fastest growing in the country.
And people ask me why, and if you think about even Spring Hill, they've kind of met their capacity because of the Duck River. There's only so much water they can draw to use and clean and use for drinking water, and then there's only so much they can put back in that river. Mm-hmm. So they either got to go and redo the dam and allow for more volume to happen, or they're kind of they've played themselves out. But we're unique with having Percy's Priest, coming in here, and we're able to use the water out of it where it is. We've just got a good water source.
And you take a place like Atlanta that, really has struggled, especially in dry seasons, to even have enough water to run a megatropolis like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're limited by your resources, but I think what draws people here is, and this is not going to be any surprise to anybody, is the quality of life, cost of living, services provided by towns like Smyrna, and it's what drew us here.
Well, and I think that we still have somewhat of the small town mentality that if you're with Kroger and you see eye to eye with someone, hey, how you doing? Hey, have a nice day. There's still pleasantries. Where I've heard in other areas of the country, no one's talking to themselves unless they actually know them.
Right, and that was probably my biggest pleasant surprise relocating from, Williamson County to here is not that far, but it's a very different place. And one of the things that I feared leaving Brentwood was the family dynamic that we had within the city and with our residents. And I was very pleasantly, I don't want to say surprised, but when I encountered that here and got to know the mayor, the town manager, the town council, other department heads, and those relationships, I'm not missing anything. It's very much the same way here. And I know the town is very diligent and purposeful in maintaining that environment, not just at the town council, at the administrative level, but the town in general.
And I think having town of Smyrna recognizes that fellowship opportunity that, hey, we're not trying to be Nashville, we're not trying to be Memphis, we want to be our own personality.
Yeah, and they're very purposeful in that. And when I was interviewing, I had worked for cities for 37 years. And when I was doing my interviews, that would keep slipping out once in a while, and I said city, and then I corrected it to town, and Todd Spearman said good catch. So
you'll get corrected.
That's been an adjustment for me, but then I hear other department heads calling it a city, and I found out through my research that there's really no difference in Tennessee, but it is an identity that they embrace and they're very proud of.
It's one that we're very proud of. Very proud of.
Talk about yourself a little bit more. You just got voted in as a member, and forgive me of the acronym, but you're on basically a council now for the state. And tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I got involved in two things right away. I got involved in the Rotary Club, to connect with my community and get to know people, and I got involved in the Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association. Both tremendous groups of people and professionals, and I've been embraced by both. And I stayed very involved with Tennessee Fire Chief Association, worked up to the presidential position in 2017, 2018, and we have a greater group outside of the state called the Southeastern Association of Fire Chiefs, which is a section of the International Fire Chiefs Association, which is worldwide.
Yeah.
And so after my presidency, I was asked to assume the role as international director to the Southeastern Fire Chiefs. So I represented the Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association to the Southeastern, which is a conglomerate of 12 states and territories. And after 3 years on the Southeastern board, I was elected by that board to represent the Southeastern to the International. So as of, I think it was July of this year. As of July of this year, I've been on the board of directors of the International Association of Fire Chiefs. So that's been a tremendous honor and opportunity for me.
How many members are on that board?
We have members of all the sections, and then there are members that represent different agencies. I knew you were going to put me on the spot. I'm guessing.
I'm sorry.
I'm guessing around 12 to 14.
Do you get to go any place with it?
Fortunately and unfortunately, yeah, we have special called meetings that I learned about a week in advance, and I made a 24-hour turnaround trip to Washington D.C. a couple of months ago, and I've got one coming up to Texas. It's going to be about a 48-hour turnaround trip. So,
and if it's anything like any of the rest, like I always went to the Tennessee Arson Association meetings in Gatlinburg in August of every year, it's a good time.
Yeah, well,
it's a really good time.
I see hotels, conference rooms, and airports, and that's about the extent of my sightseeing.
Yeah.
I want to tell you how much we've enjoyed having you this morning, and God bless you and your department again, that you're running into a burning structure while we're all trying to run out. So God bless you for that effort, and we're also pleased to have you as a fellow Rotarian as well. So thank you for being with us this morning, Chief.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you as well. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back again with you next week as usual. So have a great week. Be careful out there.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.